Boyfriend's older friend ruined my expensive, new white purse with red Jello shots, mocked my tastes, and now I'm considering suing him. I work an extremely demanding job that requires I work very long hours and get compensated well to do so. It's something I've wanted my entire life and I've finally reached a point where I can afford to do it. Not super relevant, but I grew up poor, so in a way it was cathartic to me to buy something frivolous that I really wanted, which is partially why it means so much to me. I've had this purse less than a month and have only worn it out twice, once to a work event and once to a nice dinner we went on with my boyfriend and his friends this last weekend. We were hanging out at my boyfriend's friend's house after the dinner and I hung my purse on the chair behind me. At this point I trusted everyone in the house and wasn't really concerned about it. We've all been hanging out for years now. We moved to another room right next to the one we were in to play a game. When I came back, my purse was right where I left it. When we left for the night, I grabbed it and thought it felt heavier but didn't look inside of it until I went to unload it when we got home. For some reason, someone thought it would be funny to put uncovered red Jello shots into my purse with white interior where they proceeded to leak. The entire inside was stained a splotchy pink shade, and to say I was livid is an understatement. We're all between 30 to 60, we have some older folks that are family friends of people in the group that hang out with us sometimes, so everyone is old enough to not do something so stupid. I attempted to clean it to no avail. My boyfriend reached out to the group chat that has about half of his friends in it and asked if anyone knew who had done it. One person admitted they saw someone do it and told us who. It was one of the older members of the group who is known for messing with people's belongings, but never to this degree. For example, when we went swimming last summer he filled the pockets of my shorts up with Chex Mix. It was annoying but didn't really damage anything. Also, no one really finds his antics funny. In my opinion, it's common sense to refrain from putting red goo, that turns liquidy when warm, into a white bag, but he claims that he was just being funny and didn't think they would leak. I asked him for money to either repair the bag or replace it and he claims he does not have that much money. He says the bag looked cheap, so he didn't think it would be a big deal even if the shots had leaked. I know that he has ample assets, multiple sports cars, $1 million home, etc., and can find a way to compensate me for what he had damaged. When I pointed this out, he told me that it was my fault for bringing around an expensive bag and that something could have easily been spilled on it instead. While I would have been upset if that had been the case, obviously, I wouldn't have been anywhere near as upset because this had been done intentionally and is now being blamed on me. I can take responsibility and say I shouldn't have left it out of my sight, but I knew no one in the house would steal it or the contents in it, and I never would have thought someone would fill it with sticky red goo regardless of how expensive or cheap it was. I told him that he needed to find the money or I would be suing him for the damages, and a couple people in the group think I'm going too far. My boyfriend is thankfully as angry as I am, and I don't want this situation to come at the cost of any of his friendships, but I also want compensated for my property that I worked my butt off for. wth if I take legal action, or should I try some other method to recoup my losses? I personally don't think so because this wasn't an accident, but some people seem to think I'm going too nuclear. Update 1. 7 days later, I had my appointment to have the bag looked at. They would be able to mostly repair it, however it's likely that the liquid seeped through the lining and may have damaged the bag beyond repair. They wouldn't know until they really got into it. Even so, the smell of crusty old Jello and liquor would likely linger and deteriorate any resale value the purse may have in the future. For these reasons, I will be going after him for the entire value of the purse. Thank you to the person who mentioned that this could hurt resale value in the future. I didn't even think of this. I asked the person that looked at it and she told me the severity of the staining and odor definitely would. Thankfully it is not a limited edition bag and I can currently buy a new one. Hopeful that this doesn't change anytime soon, as I really loved my bag. I am going to reach out to my attorney in the morning to see if he can help me or refer me to someone who can. I can update again with what they say, but I am pretty sure I have a strong leg to stand on. To answer some common questions. 1. Why don't I kick this guy from the friend group? Easiest answer here is that it isn't my friend group. This man is a family friend of one of my boyfriend's friends. He truthfully isn't around much, but it seems like whenever he causes problems, so I'm not sure why he is still invited, even occasionally. My boyfriend and I made it clear we would never be in the same place as him ever again, which kind of puts the ball in everyone else's court. 2. Does he not like you or does he torment everyone? He has a weird fixation with me mostly, but he does also torment most of the women in the group. I mentioned this in the comments but it may have gotten buried, but during my first interaction with him I had left my phone out while I had quickly gone to the bathroom. At some point he snatched my phone up, went somewhere else in the house, took a picture of his butthole, and replaced my phone in the same spot. I found the picture a few hours later when I opened my camera roll to show someone my dog, and my boyfriend asked me horrified why I had a hairy butthole in my phone. I was mortified and had no explanation, and it wasn't until this man was hammered that he admitted he did it. We were all disgusted and he stopped being invited for a while because my boyfriend refused to be around him. Last year he started being invited again and immediately started pranking me in harmless ways. He liked to do this with new girlfriends especially, I noticed, and I am one of the newest in the friend group, even though it's been a few years now. One of my boyfriend's friends started dating a new girl and she got a similar treatment, but nothing as severe. He really likes to tamper with our clothes mostly. I don't know what the motive is, but he doesn't usually mess with the guys, just the women. 3. Did he steal anything? No. As I had mentioned, he's wealthy and I don't think he'd really do anything like that. He doesn't seem like the type to get a thrill from theft, rather he wants to annoy women. I only kept my credit card, a small amount of cash, car keys, and a sentimental keychain in the bag. Everything was sticky and coated in goo, but everything was also there. Small edit, a lot of people have taken to accusing my boyfriend of some nasty things, setting this up, not defending me, being spineless, etc. I just wanted to take a second to say none of this is true and is mentioned throughout the post. The first instance of this man being weird, my boyfriend screamed at him about how what he had done to me was awful whether or not he saw it as a joke. We left immediately after and he told his friends that he did not want to be invited when that man was around. It took several years for it to blow over and for his friends to attempt to have us all together again for a birthday party. My boyfriend made it clear that if he ever did anything to harm me again that would be it, and he promised he wouldn't. After all of that situation the offender did calm down towards me a lot until now, which is why I didn't feel that worried about him and was comfortable leaving my purse out of my sight for 30 minutes. My boyfriend not physically assaulting this man isn't him being spineless, it's him being mature and realizing that hurting him was only going to result in him getting charges that would impact his career and life. Now that this has all happened, my boyfriend has defended me and said we will do everything we need to in order to get me a new purse. It was me that was worried about it causing him to lose friends, as I know this group is very important to him. Update 2. I got a quote for repair, but it was likely futile as the smell of cheap liquor would likely remain, even if only faintly. Additionally, as a kind commenter pointed out, doing so drastically affects resale value should I ever choose to sell it. For these reasons, I was pursuing him for a replacement purse. I laid all of the information out in writing to him and had my boyfriend hand deliver it to him. To summarize, I broke the cost of the replacement down to the penny and threatened legal action should he not replace what he damaged. The next day one of my boyfriend's other friends showed up with a check made payable to me for the entire amount. I'm sure you all wish it was more exciting than that, but I for one am just glad it's over. The only thing that could be seen as funny is the memo line on the check, which was "See you next Tuesday." Funny. I deposited the check and it cleared, so thankfully he didn't try to play any additional games by having it bounce. I think he knew I was serious and didn't want any more costs adding up should I take him to court. So yeah, that's it. One other quick thing about my boyfriend, since most people didn't read the end of my OG post, people accused him of so many nasty things. Setting up the whole thing, not protecting me enough. One person even theorized that my boyfriend was having a homosexual affair with this guy. None of these things is true. My boyfriend really isn't close with this guy. He's been around him occasionally, but they never hang out 1v1 or talk outside of when he's in the big group. He's gotten into arguments with him regarding how he treated me in the past and was firm with his stance on us not being around him anymore after this incident. It seems like people think that if he's not resorting to violence, he's a bad guy, but I personally think the opposite. We both have good careers, and him punching this guy would have just led to an arrest and charges, and we don't want that. My boyfriend is a great guy that stood by me and helped me with all of this and was definitely not involved. Update 3. Unintended consequences, a letter, and an unexpected invitation. Hello, everyone. Since my last update, I honestly figured the saga was over. Purse replaced, lesson learned, and a see you next Tuesday. Check forever memorialized in my finances app. But truth, as always, is stranger than fiction. If you told me this would become a Reddit serial, or that there were still wackier twists to come, I'd have sunken into my purse and zipped up tight. First, let me clarify, I have my new bag. I love it. It smells of triumph and fresh leather, not vague ethanol and regret. If this story had ended there, I'd just be grateful for internet solidarity and the, honestly surprising, straightforward handshake from the Jello bandit. But then some brand new stuff happened. Number 1. The group chat civil war. My boyfriend and I kept our distance, per the original not in the same room as prankman policy. But word got out about the check, because, it turns out, giving a check for thousands of dollars with "See you next Tuesday" in the memo line is not subtle, and it leaked into the friend group chat. Somehow, someone snapped and screenshotted it, complete with account redactions, but the message was clear. Suddenly, what had simmered quietly for years, his antics, became public debate. Remember, half the group is in this chat, and a few mutuals with the older folks viewed what had happened as harmless. That changed fast. Mostly women in the group, and a couple of the older dads, shockingly, responded, sharing their own stories. Some were just silly, but others were quietly infuriating. Some when I was new, he kept putting lemon slices in my shoes till he swapped my deodorant for mayonnaise once during a sleepover. The mayonnaise one, wow, just wow, and then I stopped bringing my own drinks after he'd replaced water with vodka. Several admitted they'd simply minimized contact with the guy for years. One friend, the wife of one of my boyfriend's best friends, revealed she almost tripped down the stairs after he gently stuck sticky notes under the soles of her heels as a practical joke. She bruised her knee pretty badly. No one realized it at the time except her, since she never made a stink and just limped home. She's tough. Another guy, Rare, wrote that prankman let the air out of his car tires before he left one night, so it's not exclusively women, just mostly. What does all this mean? Suddenly, the group's figure it out yourselves approach turned into a whole trial. Moderated by the usual host, call her Kendra, They scheduled what essentially amounted to a friend-intervention. We didn't go, it was specifically not for us, but they wanted to talk about what the boundaries of funny actually were. Meanwhile, about a week after getting the new bag, I received, swear, hand to heart, a handwritten apology letter in my mailbox. It was, of course, from the Jello bandit. And if you've never gotten an apology from someone who seems utterly incapable of self-awareness, let me summarize, he doubled down that it had genuinely seemed funny at the time. I guess I have been pushing things too far. Some lines showed traces of real regret. It seems everyone doesn't want me around. At least not like I was. I should stop being a clown and learn to just hang out. I am sorry for the bag and for making you uncomfortable at other times. Weirdest line, I don't hate women. I just think I never learned how to be close to them. Closed with, glad you got a new bag. Hope you also get some more laughs in life, no Jello needed. It was awkwardly sincere, but still. Not really getting it. My boyfriend and I kind of stared at each other. Like, I am sorry I ruined your property, but also isn't life just a big goof? Really growth? Mixed feelings, but okay, at least he said sorry, even if his tone was off. His wife, I know, I haven't mentioned her. She's quiet and usually not present, she called me. She apologized for her husband's pranks, confessed she'd been embarrassed and frustrated for years, and admitted she's the one nudging him to send that letter and keep his distance. She said she read the women's group chat comments and realized it was way more pervasive than she thought. She shared that he has started seeing a therapist and is working on boundaries. Truthfully, she sounded more relieved than anything else. Fast forward to last weekend, Kendra, from the friend group, invited my boyfriend and me to a group dinner. Prankman would not be there, he's taking time off to reflect. Turns out, the friend intervention led everyone to a collective agreement. If you're going to be in the friend group, you respect others' property, know your audience, and accept a no means no more jokes. They hashed out a sort of friend code of conduct. I know, it sounds very high school, but honestly, when your median group age is 45 and these are your adult problems, go for it. When we walked in, it was a little awkward, but honestly, a relief. A couple people came up to apologize that they'd minimized things or looked the other way before. The group actually feels closer. One woman bought me a decoy clutch, ugliest, highest shine gold, so prank-proof, she said, as a gag, and we all laughed, actual, nice laughing. Not at anyone's expense. Prankman posted a meta status about cancel culture and how pranks aren't crimes. It got, 3 likes and 100 comments, half from people telling him to grow up, the other half saying maybe think about why everyone's mad. His social circle apparently now knows. And he's, well, learning about consequences in middle age. My bag drama sparked a group-wide reckoning, airing years of pranks few thought were okay but all shrugged off. Prankman wrote a long, odd, maybe half-sincere apology letter and started therapy. His wife is quietly thrilled he's finally facing his behavior. The friend group is closer, with real boundaries. I got a decoy prank-proof purse as a friendly joke. Prankman's attempts to save face on Facebook just backfired. Moral, it's never just a prank if you wouldn't do it to a guy holding a baseball bat, and sometimes, standing up for yourself makes things better in ways you never expected. Update 4, Jello Bandits Redemption, Tour, a surprise legal twist, and a TV producer? Hello again, Reddit. I never expected to write this update. If you told me 6 weeks ago that my ill-fated purse would still be sparking aftershocks, I'd have accused you of being as unhinged as our friend Prankman, formerly Jello Bandit, still working on his branding. But here we are, the butterfly effect is alive and well. This one's a wild ride, and I swear, I could not make it up. Number 1, a letter from his lawyer, but, plot twist, not about me. First, remember how Prankman made a weirdly meta Facebook post about cancel culture and lost most of his online friends? That sparked something unexpected. Someone in his network, I later learned, his cousin, is a lawyer, and after seeing that blast, reached out to him. But not to help. The cousin wrote Prankman a frankly scathing private message, urging him to think about actual consequences. Specifically, you're lucky she didn't sue and post your real name all over, because that would get messy with your work and charity boards. He sent me the redacted screenshot, with Prankman replying, I know, lesson learned. Score 1 for the grown-ups. The weird part? A few days later, the cousin, let's call him Kevin, messaged me. He wanted to say thank you for handling things like an adult, and if you ever want a free consult about defamation defense or cyberbullying law, just email. ? His message closed with, I'm not offering this for my cousin, just appreciate a woman who actually stands up and stays cool. We need more people like you. I didn't reply, out of basic confusion, but if you ever need a random Jello shot legal eagle, apparently I'm on retainer. Number 2. The Redemption Apology Tour word spread, because adults are still just tall children in group chats, that Prankman was actually taking therapy seriously. His wife, Stacy, who's rapidly becoming a low-key hero in this story, started gently sharing in the chat about positive changes she'd seen at home. Dishes done, household chores, no more rubber duckies floating in the toilet for a laugh. Skepticism reigned until he, out of the blue, began sending actual, personalized apologies to virtually everyone he'd pranked in the last 5 years. One woman received a Starbucks gift card and a note, "Sorry for the hair dye in your hand soap in 2020. The guy who got his car tires deflated?" A random AAA membership arrived in his mailbox. The mayonnaise deodorant victim got a lush set and a formal, if very awkward, email. I got sent a literal purse charm in the mail.
The package just said for when you need a reminder to always look inside first. J.B. I actually snorted.
It was a little like watching a sitcom character try to fix things by machine gunning apology gestures everywhere, but honestly, people really lightened up and started joking in healthy ways again. Except one or two, which leads to the next part. Life isn't an 80s comedy. One of the oldest members of the group, Linda, 60s, total spitfire, wasn't having it. Her infamous lemon in shoes prank still had consequences years later. She'd slipped and developed a lingering ligament issue. With the group emboldened, she quietly filed a small claims suit for her medical bills. Word got out when she showed up at dinner in a new orthopedic sandal and announced, "If someone ruins your shoes and your ankle, don't settle for a Starbucks gift card." Savage. Prankman, I know, we really need a better name, actually settled quickly, quietly, and cut her a check. "I'm done pranking," he apparently told her in the DMs, "and I'm paying for all fruit-related injuries." He later put in the group chat, "Sorry for everything, and thanks for the wake-up call." To be honest, if Linda had always been this direct, she could have led the whole friend group years ago. Number 4. The TV producer, I swear this is real, and now for the banana pants part, the story that refused to die. Someone, not me, posted a summary of our group saga to one of those true adult friendship drama Facebook groups. It went semi-viral, enough that a small TV production company, their resume, cable TV reenactments, some true crime, a real pranks gone wrong episode somewhere, emailed me. I laughed so hard at "We'd love to get your side of this incredible friendship gone off the rails for a special we're developing. Would you consider an interview?" I politely declined. Narrating your own purse tragedy for rental cable at 9:30 p.m. on a Thursday isn't the legacy I want. I did suggest they call Stacy, since she has actual insight on loving a prankaholic. Stacy considered it, too, for perspective on grown women dealing with overgrown prank boys. None of us followed through, but she said if the group ever holds another friend code summit, she'll stream it as performance art. The new purse is still pristine, and I use the sparkly prank-proof clutch for parties where sticky hands might roam. My boyfriend and I have gotten a lot closer with the women in the group, and I realize we all quietly needed this moment to say, "No, actually, I'm not being uptight, these jokes just suck." Prankman nearly got a new nickname, the Redemption Roadie, but when he heard, he begged, "Can I just be his real name again?" For now, we've let him. The best part, he and his wife have a standing wager. Every month he goes without a prank, she donates $100 to a women's shelter. Last I heard, they've donated $400. Moral, Chapter 4, sometimes a prank just shows what's been simmering, and sometimes people need a small claims court, a therapy bill, and a threat of reality TV to get their acts together. My purse is safe. My friendships are real again. And if anyone ever opens a Jello shot near me, I'm launching it out the window. Update 5. Jello shots in the rearview, friendships, fates, and a very weird weekend trip. If last month was about reckoning and awkward Facebook posts, the past few weeks dialed up the surprises, and occasional wholesomeness, to 11. Here's what's new. So, true to our new friend code of conduct, Kendra organized our group's annual spring weekend getaway, a tradition going back 15 years, always up in wine country. I briefly hesitated, trauma-re, leaving purses in shared living spaces with prank-inclined millionaires, but after several texts and very sincere "I swear it's 100% prank-free now" group assurances, I said yes. To my surprise, even Prankman and Stacy came. As part of the group. I had reservations, so did a lot of people. But Kendra had personally told him, one strike, he'd be on the next bus home, no debate. He showed up with a tote bag reading hand-checked, prank-free zone. First toast of the evening, to new starts, no Jello, and only consensual fun. Everyone laughed, genuinely. Things had changed. The wildest part was watching Prankman try to interact after decades of awkward behavior. If you've ever seen someone learn social skills in real time, you'll recognize this. At game night, he asked permission before touching any props. "Is it okay if I shuffle?" And looked pained every time someone referenced his old tricks. He actually stopped someone else about to pull a tired salt in beer routine, saying, "We've all grown up. Let's not ruin anyone's stuff just for a cheap laugh." Stacy, who was already several glasses deep, threw her arms around me on the porch. "Thank you for giving my husband a reason to finally act his age. He listens now." Wildest of all, at dinner, Prankman initiated a gratitude round. He thanked the group for holding him accountable, and, specifically thanked the women for their patience and honesty. No awkward qualifiers, just genuine. People clapped. Someone bought a round of very expensive limoncello. No lemons in anyone's shoes. But not like that. So, you know how some folks can't quite resist the urge to micro-prank? Our group discovered actual positive pranking. Kendra, again, organized a surprise sweet moment scavenger hunt. Everyone got a tiny note in their wallet or purse with a small compliment or funny group memory, all written out by various people. My note, hidden in my pristine new purse, read, you remind us all how to stand up for ourselves, and we wouldn't have these boundaries or closeness without you. Also, Fry's next game night are on me, secret supporter. Nobody's stuff got slimed, stained, or sabotaged. Just a few damp eyes and a group photo that might make it to a holiday card. So, picture this, someone posts about adult prank interventions in a local Facebook group, not mine, not anyone from our close circle, more degrees removed. Within a week, Prankman himself is approached to participate, as a guest speaker, on a panel about why men prank, and how to stop. Apparently, all that reluctant therapy plus our very public group reboot made him a case study. He actually agreed. He and a therapist did a Q&A about breaking the cycle of attention-seeking pranks, and, per Stacy, he only mentioned Jello shots once. She says the phrase gives him the cold sweats now. He's considering teaming with his therapist to help schools talk to older boys about boundaries and peer respect. My boyfriend and I are still processing the plot twist. Redemption arc doesn't quite cover it. A few small claims from the pranked years have trickled in. Prankman has paid them without a fight. He's not thrilled, but he's accepted it. Meanwhile, Linda and her lemon-induced limp finally got the physical therapy she needed, plus a genuine fruit basket signed sorry for being sour. Several others, after seeing each other's stories aired, formed a quiet little wine and cheese club. No pranks, just charcuterie. Stacy donated another $100 to the women's shelter. 5 months prank-free. My new purse is still spotless, though now it has a little silver no Jello tag as a private joke. The friend group, with boundaries, is actually a source of real joy. People stand up for each other, laugh at actual jokes, and own up to their mistakes. My boyfriend? Stronger than ever, less anxious that his friends will cross the line. He's as relieved as I am that everyone's grown up a little. Even the TV producer circled back and said if we ever change our minds, the Jello years has a home on basic cable. Still a hard no. Next year, though, I'm bringing a lockable suitcase for game night. Old habits die hard, and purses, it turns out, have pretty long memories. Thanks for sticking with this saga. If anything wilder happens, I'll have to start charging admission. But I think our saga's finally zipped shut. Update 6. It turns out, airing group drama on social media doesn't just reach friends. About 2 weeks after the Vineyard trip, the group chat Civil War Facebook leaks got picked up by Prankman's extended family, including some who'd long suspected his antics, but never the full scope. Here's the jaw-dropper. Prankman's older brother texted Kendra to apologize for years of my brother's embarrassing behavior. The brother then organized a family Zoom call, with Prankman at virtual center stage. Multiple older aunts and a couple of second cousins essentially staged a family roast, but with lawyer cousin Kevin acting as moderator, and with actual consequences. Prankman is now officially disinvited from the annual family summer bash until he's a year prank-free. Apparently, Grandma's had it with Chex Mix in her Crocs. Stacy, angel of fortitude, called me to say, I've waited years for this day. I never thought I'd cheer for a Zoom lecture, but here we are. Remember Prankman's therapeutic speaking debut? Wild escalation. A local youth center caught wind and invited him, and, weirdly, me and Stacy, to be part of a panel on boundaries, respect, and how not to ruin someone's party or life. The lineup: a therapist, 2 ex-class clowns, a parent, and yours truly, the adult who suffered, stood up and got her purse back. That was one surreal Friday afternoon, talking to 50 high schoolers about when jokes become violations. Prankman, with a sincerity I never thought possible, actually told the kids, if you think it's funny but nobody else is laughing, rethink it. Learn from me, don't let Jello shots ruin your future. The kids all gasped at the purse story, especially when I showed a photo of the original stained lining. That's so evil. One 15-year-old whispered. Oddest moment, at the end, the teens voted for best redemption story, and Prankman got a medal made of construction paper, reading, pranked, paid, reformed. His wife took a picture for the family group chat. We all laughed, real laughter. Now for the feel-good bombshell. Remember Linda, lemon prank survivor and resident Spitfire? She DM'd me last week and asked for a call. The gist: after years in the friend group, she's finally marrying her longtime partner, quiet, sweet, always bringing her comfy shoes after sticky note era. She wanted to tell me I'd inspired her to say no to nonsense, yes to joy, and yes to myself. There's a subtext here. Our drama, she says, lit a fire under her and a few others to really cherish their friendships and relationships, and cut loose toxic dynamics for good. Here's the twist: she invited Prankman and Stacy to the wedding, on one condition. He has to promise to be the prank chaperone, not the prankster. One night only, he's responsible for catching anyone tempted by comedic sabotage. He texted the group, I solemnly swear, my only bomb is confetti. Linda has even threatened that if he slips, she'll make him wear Crocs with lemon slices inside for the whole reception, for closure. After my story made the rounds, a small accessories company, run by the cousin of a friend, no big name, just a clever Etsy shop, actually reached out. Would I like to test drive their new party-proof bag? Wipe clean lining, built-in tracking tag, extra latch for the truly nervous. They're calling it the group chat. The founder DM'd me, "We joke in our house now, don't make it a Jello bag. If I want, I get their first prototype, free, not sponsored, just a thank you for proving adults can have boundaries. The first sample ships next week. I might bring it to the wedding, full circle. Recent get together, zero drama, lots of snacks. The only prank was a single, tastefully hidden rubber duck, in the kitchen sink, courtesy of Kendra's 4-year-old. Prankman found it, ceremoniously washed it, and gave it to the toddler for safekeeping, earning a standing ovation. Stacy reports her husband is now up to 7 months prank-free, and their donations to women's shelters are adding up. My boyfriend, ever the steady one, is now official event security. He got a whistle and a badge on a lanyard as a joke, and immediately hung it on our coat rack. We're actually starting to enjoy group events, not dread them. And Linda's orthopedic sandal is officially retired. If you'd have told me a ruined purse would lead to family reckonings, youth outreach panels, Etsy, product launches, and a wedding where old wounds become running gags and not grudges, I would have thought you needed a professional. But here we are, better friends, healthier boundaries, and a friend group that may finally, maybe, just maybe, be prank-proof for good. But still, my new purse locks, just in case.